Hello and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. Today I'm going to be working in my project life and I'm going to be working on what is week 50 or so in my album. I have stopped keeping track of the weeks and the time. As we approach Christmas, there are more photos for certain weeks and they're spilling over from week to week. And so I'm not really keeping track of it, although my titles are still going week by week. So this is officially week 50, but the week after this is week 50-ish. So if you're confused by the titles of my layouts, this is the one that comes before the one that's called week 50-ish. This is the week that includes my birthday. So this I scrapbooked just a couple of weeks ago, and I am behind in my narrating, so I will do my best to try to remember. I'm working on from a number of different kits here. I have Ali Edwards kits, I have Studio Calico kits, and I have Paper Person kits. And at this point, I think I had gotten the December kits for some of those, but not all of them. So I'm working with a combination of December and November kits here. And I also have a set of puffy stickers from, I think those are from Four Bears. Yeah, they're from Four Bears. It's a sticker club that I belong to. It's a Canadian sticker club. And those are really beautiful. And I'm going to use them for one specific memory that I'm documenting here. So I start off with these templates that just show me the layout of a Design A Becky Higgins page protector, because that's what the majority of my project life is laid out in. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just laying out cards for each of the pockets, and I'm not too cautious about things like the 4x6 pockets, for example. I might just stick 2 3x4 cards into, for example, and sometimes I will stick 4x6 cards. If you get these kits, you'll know that we really don't get enough 4x6 cards. And so that's one way that I handle that is I just will stick 2 3x4s in there. But sometimes I'll also cut down some other cards and papers to make 4x6. So I have a lot of photos here to document and lots of cards that I'm going through. These are some older cards that I have that I'm just looking through here. And I feel like that one might look nice right there, but I have another option, which are those 2 3x4 cards that it's covering up. So I'm just going to lay that there and I might change my mind about it. And I do that sometimes. I'll put different cards, like multiples, in the same slot, and then I'll decide as I go which one it is that I actually want to use. I have this meme here. It's like I think I show it up close later on in the video, but it's a cute one. And as I do this, I'm familiarizing myself with what phrases are on the cards and what images, so that if anything kind of piques my memory or my ideas for things I want to journal or document, I'll pull those out and put those in the proper cells. I have a cake and also an explanation of the cake, so that's going to take up some room in this spread. Whenever there's something more complicated that requires more of an explanation, then I usually have to incorporate some type of inserts or flips or something like that to get extra information on the page. So I'm just measuring that and making sure that it's the right size, and I figured that I could use it, make it a little bit smaller, so I just reprinted it there. And this time it fits a little bit better inside of that card. That's one of the benefits to having your own printer at home. Now this card is now too long for the photo because the photo is square. So I'm actually doing a little surgery here. I do this a lot where I will just cut a card in half and then put it together again in such a way that it's smaller than it was before. And you just layer it upon itself really carefully so that it basically looks like it was always that size. So I trimmed that down with my trimmer, and then I'm going to use my scissors, my fussy cutting scissors here, just to trim all the way around it. So basically it looks like a label now. And then I'll put that on the yellow paper, and that's the one that I'm starting with. Next, I'm going to move down to the opposite left-hand corner, the left-hand bottom corner, and I'm going to do this one. And this is a photo that spans across two 3x4 cards, but it'll be in a 4x6 pocket, so it won't matter so much. I just took a little trim off of the edge of that card that had the rainbow edging on it that way, and I'm just going to glue the whole thing onto a very thin 4x6 index card, but that way I can use that rainbow trim on the other side. What that does is it just pulls the whole thing together and makes it look like that, like it's one card with some kind of like color and pattern blocking on it. So I'm putting the photo over there. I'm going to outline it with my brush tip Faber-Castell marker. And then I want to do some journaling. So I'm just going to freehand the journaling without doing any writing, any lines or anything. And I'm just writing, Liv and I have been playing Heyday for over a year now. I play off and on, but she plays consistently. It's nice to have something in common and to collaborate on. There is always something fun or soothing to do on our farms. And there's my tag number. If you play Heyday and want to add me as a friend, go ahead. You can pause the video, rewind it and pause it if you want to see my Heyday number. I was just sharing it there because I make real-time process videos. I just stream them, and those are for my Patreon members. So that was why I did that. I was chatting with them about that. So there's the journaling, and I just want to add a little title here as well. And so I'm going to have a look at what stamps I have. I'd like to fill up that tiny little bit of space there. So I'm looking for a little star or heart or something. I found this little heart outline. I thought that was cute, so I'll just stamp that right there just to fill up that little space that was left. And now I'm looking for some letter stickers that I can do the Heyday title with. And I'd like to use the Heyday logo colors. So those would be red and green mostly. Kind of like red and green and yellow, I believe. But I'm going to use red and green. I thought about using one of those vellum tags from the Studio Calico kit, but I decided against it. Instead, I'm going to pull out my October Afternoon letter stickers. Love, love, love these. And I found a red set and a green set. So I'm going to put hay in red and day in green. And I'm just lining them up because they're both 3 letters. So that's easy. But then I'm going to put a hashtag in front of hay and an exclamation point after day so that they're no longer lined up. They're off kilter a little bit so that I've got a space after the Y in hay and a space before the D in day to put little puffy stickers in there. So I put a red and a green star there, as you can see. And now I did turn 50 this week, the week that I'm scrapbooking, not the week that I'm narrating. And so I have been waiting to turn 50 so that I can kick up my legs and say, I'm 50, just like Sally O'Malley does. So I got a chance to do that multiple times that day, and I'm sure my family thought it grew old pretty quickly, but hey, you only turn 50 once, so I'm going to milk it all I can. So I am going to write out I'm 50 in huge letters, and I found these awesome gold foil letter stickers that are from the Hip Kit Club. And they're very nice and very flashy, just like Sally O'Malley herself is. So I thought that they would be perfect. I'm going to use some waxed paper to place these, which I haven't done this in quite some time. I used to use wax paper all the time. And I really like how the F's look and the T's and the Y's. I like the ascenders and descenders on this letter sticker. And there's all of this extra space to the left of Sally, who is of course played by Molly Shannon. It's an SNL character from back in the early 90s, I believe, maybe the mid 90s. I don't remember, but definitely the 90s. And I'm going to put an exclamation point because this needs one. And I like how that looks. So now all that I have to do is transfer all of these letter stickers to the photo. And the Y is the trickiest to place because I didn't want it to go off the page. So that's why I started with the Y. Then I'll place everything else around it. And I'm just making them so that they nest amongst each other nicely. There we go. Haha, I like that. So next I'm going to do the journaling for this just to explain what it is that this is a picture of and why it says that on there. So I'm starting by outlining this card with a stitched, kind of like a faux stitched outline. And here's what I'm writing. It says, ever since Sally O'Malley kicked up her legs and proclaimed, I'm 50, I've been waiting for memes to be invented so I can post this classic SNL 90s moment as my own. I'm 50 now, 50 years old. I only hope to be living life as large as Sally did, well into her 50s and beyond. And so I'm just writing all that down just to give a bit of an explainer, because as the years go by and people who might not be part of my family might not know this story. And I'm not going to outline this or underline this journaling because it already has the lines of the bands of color and I don't want to compete with that. So I just want to put something to take up the space because I ran out of words. Like I had extra space left over after I finished writing everything I had to say there. So I added this little chipboard piece that says little moments of life. Next, I have this photo of my daughter in her semi-formal, like they had a Christmas dance. And I have a couple of photos here that go together as part of the same story. I'm missing some, so I'm going back and looking through. I thought maybe it might have accidentally got placed with my Elf on the Shelf photos, which I'm going to do those all together in a little traveler's notebook. So I'm just going to reprint and find those missing photos. So I did edit out the trimming of those photos because I don't edit much, but that I wanted to just skip through that part. And so I have a photo flip by Snap here that I'm going to use to put all of these photos together in one single 3x4 slot. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of journaling here, so I'm going to put all 3 photos in. Normally I'll do 2 photos and then leave 1 space because when you do one of these, you end up getting 3 spaces into the one pocket. But because I don't really have much to say other than the Bayview Ball, I'm just going to put all 3 photos. It saves space for some of the other things that I know will be on this page. Now, the high school colors are blue and red, so I'm going to spell out Bayview in red, and then I'm going to spell out ball in blue. Using my thicker alignment tool here, but really any thin ruler will do. Any ruler will do, but the thinner it is, the easier it is to place the letter stickers using a ruler like this. And the nice thing about the Thicker's alignment tool is that they do have the lines on there so that you can make sure that your letters are lined up properly. And here come the letters that spell out the word ball. And I just want to right justify this. Or right align it maybe. Yeah, not justified. I want it right aligned. And there's a nice little space beside the B in ball that I could have put a little embellishment or a sticker or something, but I just left it. Now here's a photo of my desk filled with all kinds of stickers, and this is really fun. It's very cluttered, and it has this large black band at the bottom of it, which is the shadow where the under my desk area is. And what I thought I might do is take some of these stickers that are kind of like classic sticker club stickers. These are actually from Pipsticks, which is one of the sticker clubs that I used to belong to. And I'm spelling out the word stickers in one of these fonts. And then there's so much space there that I decided to just spell it out again with a different font. Stickers, stickers. And I'll work backwards on this one so that they are, so that the spacing works out right. I'm going to have a small space between the two words, which I will put an extra little sticker in. And then I'm just going to decorate it with these, what I call micro stickers. So I'm going to grab another sticker book. I keep my sticker club stickers in these books, and I'm just going to put a whole bunch of little micro stickers. They're just like little confetti stickers that you can put to fill up space, and it gives a bit of a fun energy to a space as well, to just kind of randomly put them. I don't want them too lined up, which is hard when I've only got a tiny space to work with here, so I'm just going to layer them so that some of them land on the photo and some of them land in that black space. They end up looking kind of lined up because there's only so much space to work with, but that's okay. So next to that photo, I want to have like basically a filler card that just says which week this is. Roughly which week this is. So I have these 2 3x4 cards that I think look really pretty beside one another. And then I trimmed down that December month, which I believe that comes in the paper person kit each month. And I'm going to trim down a mat for it out of craft paper. This is Crumb Cake from Stampin' Up, which is my favorite craft paper because it's not very orangey. It has a nice neutral look to it. And I thought about what embellishments I might want to put on this, and I ended up deciding against any. I'm just going to leave the calendar plain on the cards. I really, really love the pattern of the grayish colored card in particular. It's so pretty. I love, love, love it. And I'm going to use my brown marker, which I don't use all that often, and I'm going to make a stitch line all the way around not the outside edge, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to outline each card so that instead of it looking like one card, I'm kind of emphasizing the fact that these are 2 cards. And now I'm just taking a light colored marker. I'm just going to check and make sure that it's as light as I thought it was. And I'm just going to highlight the current week. And that's just another way of marking the weeks if you don't want to spell out and do a full title card. Now for this one, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do another flip the flap here or what I'm going to do for those photos that are similar. So while I think about that, I will take this picture of food. This is a breakfast that I made for the girls, and I will put something on this. I want to put something in the center of the food. I really love that when the food almost fills the frame and then you just put a stamp in the middle or a sticker in the middle or something. So I took out my foodie stamps, and I've got a variety of stamps here. Some of them are from Kelly Perky or Paper Person, and some of them are from Everyday Explorers. I think that's most of the brand in that category. The stamp I'm going to use is the one I keep coming back to over and over again, and it's the Yum one that you can see right there. I'm tapping on it, and I always want to do something different, but I just love this stamp so much, and I think, you know what, I love it, and there's no harm in using it over and over again. That's what stamps are for. They're for using over and over again. So I'm going to do it, even though I'm sure I have multiple food pictures with the word yum in the center of them throughout the years of my doing this project, but that's okay. I'm using my Misty tool because you do have to stamp multiple times to get this as dark as it needs to be in order to have the contrast that I want it to have on this photo. And it really doesn't stand out as much on this photo as it does in some other applications that I've used this stamp for, just because the frying pan is black, so you see bits of the frying pan through the food. But I still really like it. It looks better in real life than it does in the video here. In the video here, you really kind of can't tell what it is. It looks a little bit like yum, but yeah, it looks good in real life. These are some label stickers that came in a Studio Calico Traveler's Notebook kit. I like the crafty look of them. They're sort of really, really soft colors. And so this photo, it's a Be Real photo of Sophie. It says Sophie made her own drum from animal hide in her Indigenous group, which she attends with Maddie. And her best friend is Indigenous, and they invited her to make a drum with them. She gets invited. She's lucky. She gets invited to a lot of Indigenous events. I just added some puffy stickers there around her just to fill up the space where the ceiling was. And now I'm going to scrapbook this picture of the hockey game. So I have another one of those rainbow stripy cards, slightly different color scheme this time. And I am going to mount these on a 4x6 card. These are very thin, inexpensive 4x6 index cards that I order on Amazon in bulk. I always have these on hand, and I don't have to worry about constantly cutting up pieces of white cardstock to have these. So it's a real time saver having these on hand. I just thought I would use these adorable Four Bears puffy stickers of penguins playing hockey to embellish this photo that Annabelle took of the hockey game that she was attending. This is another Be Real photo. And on the other side, I'm going to say Go Sharks Go, and I'm writing it in the school colors, so red and blue and red again. So Go is in red, Sharks is going to be in blue, and the other Go is going to be in red also. Then I decided to add another hockey player up here just because I've got plenty of hockey players on this sheet of stickers, and I might as well use them, right? These letter stickers are paper person letter stickers. They come in the kits. I just need to make room for an exclamation point here. I forgot that I needed one. And there we go. So now this one is done. I'll just put my letter stickers back in my little booklet. It's just a little photo album book, a 4x6 photo album book. I think that's super cute. And now above it is just a fun photo of the car. We went through the drive-through of Starbucks when Liv was working one day. It's actually the first time I've ever gone through her drive-through when she was working. And I just snapped a picture. It's a terrible picture. It's not that great. But I have these lawn fawn arrows that I'm going to use, freckled fawn arrows. I'm going to point to Liv because she's way in the background. You can't really see that it's her, but you can see the back of her head. She was avoiding us. She didn't want to come to the window because she knew we were there. Anyhow, it says going through the drive-through while Liv is working. Her favorite thing, not. Yeah, she was smirking. I could tell that she was she likes that we come, but she just doesn't want us to know that she likes, I think. So anyhow, the next thing I'm doing is I am scrapbooking this photo of my birthday cake that my sister-in-law made for me. So I'm mounting it on another one of those inexpensive cards, or no, I think it's just, I just didn't trim it down. Yeah. Anyhow, on the white edges of it, I am layering some washi tape just so it's not plain white. It's just yellow polka dotted washi tape. And then below it, I am going to do some journaling over to the left of the cake, but below it, I'm going to put a flip up that has the reference photo, because this cake looks so much like the cake in the video game that it's very impressive, and I want to make sure that that's noted in my project here. So I'm looking through my larger papers. These are my 6 by 8 inch papers that come in kits, and I don't scrapbook in this size, so I have a bunch of these that I never use. So I've been just using them for making these tent-like flips for my project life. So I just cut a 3 by 8 inch strip, and then I score it in the middle and tuck half of it into a pocket. And you can only do this on the right hand side of a spread because that's where the openings are for your pockets. So I did print up a reference photo of Monster Cake from the video game, just from the internet. And this is a recipe that you have to go on a quest. You have to go into the castle to get it, and the castle is the most scary and dangerous. Maybe not the most dangerous, but it's a scary, dangerous place in the game. And so it's kind of like a fun quest. It's harder than some of the other ones to go on this and find the monster cake. You don't really know where you're going or what you're looking for until you find it. And then I think you have to make it for the person, and then you get the credit for having done the quest. And Jen herself doesn't play Breath of the Wild, but she asked her sister-in-law, Adam's sister, plays Breath of the Wild. So she asked her, if I were making a Breath of the Wild cake, what would I do? And Robin said, you should make monster cake, and sent her a picture of it. And look at what a great job she did. And it was delicious too. So I definitely wanted to include the reference photo because I think it's pretty impressive. I'm going to cut down this little journaling piece so that it's matted inside of the tented, like lift the flap. And in this, I'm basically going to chunk my journaling into 3 pieces so that it'll fit in this card. It says, Jen made me monster cake for my birthday dinner Friday night. This cake is based on a quest from Zelda Breath of the Wild, in which you have to find a recipe in the castle and cook monster cake for someone. This cake was delicious. I'm not going to underline because there's already lines going on this journaling card, and I don't want to compete with the design that's already there. But I think that this color scheme works really, really well with that dark blue that's almost like a purpley color. It's not purple, it's blue. It's really dark blue. I grabbed my gamer stamp set because I thought I might want to do some stamping here. And I think I'm going to use the Level Up. I'm going to stamp it on this label, this green label, and kind of go with that kind of royal blue and green kind of monster kind of color scheme. So I'm going to pick this green label from Studio Calico, and I'm going to do some tone-on-tone stamping with Granny Apple Green Stampin' Up ink, and I'm stamping out Level Up. And then I'm going to use my letter stickers, my Hazel Alpha stickers. I'm going to stamp out the phrase 250. So it's like leveling up to 50 years old for my birthday. It's a bit of a pun about video games. So this is my Hazel stamp set, and I have 2 of them. I have like a small one, and the other one is called Medium. I'm going to use this Pacific Point ink from Stampin' Up to spell out 250. And it's the smaller stamp set that I ended up using. And I am going to trim that down, which is pretty easy because it does have a grid pattern on it. So you can just follow the line. I'm going to put it right there. And then I think I'll go into my stash and look at some arrow stickers and maybe put some arrow stickers pointing up to support that idea of leveling up. And I have these Becky Higgins arrow stickers from way back when I first started Project Life. And she doesn't make these anymore, but you used to get them with your core kits. They're so old that they're really not sticky anymore, so they're going to come off a couple times before I clue in and realize I'm going to have to glue them down. I just really like that color scheme. It's very monstery. So I'm freehanding my journaling on the photo here. It just says Jen and Adam had us over for homemade donaires and falafels, and cake the Friday after my birthday. Everything was delicious. Thanks, Jen and Adam. XOXO. And again, there's a lot going on, so I'm not going to do some outlining on that or underlining on that. Now, next to that photo, I have space here for another 3x4 card, and I thought I'd make another insert. I'm going to cut this phrase out. It says, stay close to people who feel like sunshine. And I cut it out with my large heart punch. And then I'm going to place it on this rainbow. So I've got lots of repetition of rainbows in various versions of these colors. I thought about adding a star here or a couple of stars here, but I ultimately decided to just leave that card as it is and have Sally O'Malley be really like the focus. I didn't want to take any attention away from her because she seems to like attention. So we'll give her all that she can get there. I've decided that instead of doing so many flippity flaps, I'm just going to tuck this photo in behind the other one, use a little bit of washi tape, and I have this push-pull stamp set from Lawn Fawn, and I just it says pull here, and I like using that whenever I have a pull out in my project life. And of course you can only do this on the right hand side, as I mentioned before about the flips. Also, another tip is to cut that photo that goes underneath just a little bit more narrow than the outside one so that it slides in and out of the pocket easily. If you cut the top one so that it's really jammed in there good, so maybe it might be a little bit oversized for the pocket, then the other one will slip in and out without pulling out the front one. I'm just looking for some letter stickers that I can put on the outside photo here. I want to say Rocky Kisses. I'm going to put them right here beside her, even though I'm not 100% sure that they're going to fit there. But I could always just reprint it up or whatever if I needed to. But yeah, Rocky fit without going over Sophie's face. It's just a picture of her bent over doing kissy lips towards the cat, and then the second photo is her looking at the camera and smiling. So they're a nice before and after series of photos. And I didn't have enough S's, so I just blacked out one of the letter stickers, and then I used my white gel pen to draw an S on top of it. So one of the benefits of black and white letter stickers is you can always customize them like that. I thought about covering up the floor there, but I decided not to. I was going to put washi tape there, but nope. We'll just trim that one down a wee little bit on both sides just so that it's a bit smaller than the other one. That Fisker's little guillotine trimmer is perfect for that kind of a job. Now this one is December Gratitudes. This is a card that comes every month in the Allie Edwards kit. I'm going to miss this card because I'm not still subscribing to the Stories by the Month kit for 2023, but here's what I wrote for these gratitudes. And I always just ignore the numbers and just write it down however many gratitudes I can fit. It says, we are so lucky that our family lives nearby, so we can see everyone easily without traveling far. Although lots of viruses are going around, including COVID, we are for the most part healthy, except a few colds this fall. and grateful that bad weather has held off so far. So I think that that's it for this spread. The only thing that I have left to do is to use my Zig glue pen to glue down these little arrows that have a mind of their own and are trying to gravitate off of the page. So there we go. And that glue is super liquidy, so they didn't stick right away, but once it takes, they'll be in place forever. And you do want to make sure on a flippity flap that is exposed like that, like there's no plastic covering for it, so you want to make sure everything is glued down really well. And that is how this spread looks. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. Big shout out to them because these are the folks that help make this channel happen. So thank you so much. Patrons get early ad-free access to all of my process videos, as well as real-time unedited versions of all of my videos, and some extra things like live streams and behind-the-scene videos and that sort of thing. And also thank you to you for watching all the way to the end. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Until next time, have a great scrappy week.